Hello and welcome back to the Double Booked podcast. Kayla, how's it going today?
It is going. I just got back from our little cabin in the mountains, so I had a cozy little holiday weekend reading, and it was very, very nice.
Very tranquil.
It
I'm
was.
doing
It was
good.
extremely tranquil.
Okay.
How are you doing, Mallory?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Pretty tired. I think I said that last time. I didn't have coffee today. But I'm ready to go. I'm excited to talk about Throne of Glass.
Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about Throne of Glass. So yeah, that's my reading update. I've finished Throne of Glass, obviously, and I am about 60% of the way through Crown of Midnight. So I am very much into this world and I'm loving every second of it.
Heck
But we'll get
yes.
into that. Do you have an update on your reading?
I sure don't. I have made no progress. I have made zero progress. I think I read like 10 pages from the last time we talked. Just wasn't feeling it. I have to
Really?
make it happen. Yeah, I don't know. This
And
current
this is the
book.
book club book, right?
Yeah, I'm just not into it. I'm feeling
Okay. And when do you
I
have
don't
to have
want
it
to.
done by?
I was supposed to have it done yesterday,
Oh no.
but we got postponed, so I have some time.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been too busy hyping up the social medias and getting us
Yeah,
getting us on
nothing to
TikTok.
brag about, but we're kind of social media goddesses right now.
We are. We are. We've been out there for a little over 2 weeks now,
Yeah,
and we have hit 100 followers on Instagram
I think we have
as of today.
108
Uh-huh.
as of this
108
exact moment.
as of the second.
107, sorry. Someone go follow us and make it 108 so we don't look like idiots.
Hopefully we'll have 108 by the time this episode comes
I
out.
sure hope so.
But we want to thank you all who have supported us and listened and followed and shared. It really means a lot to us. We have so much fun doing this, but once again, it's better to share it with other people too. And we're
Yeah.
just really grateful.
Having a lot of fun. Hope to keep it up.
Yes, exactly. Do you want to tell the listeners real quick about our TikTok?
Oh my God. So, all right, let's get into it, folks. It's not that big of a deal. Being so dramatic. So Kayla and I have been on Instagram for a couple weeks and we're doing reels, but we think, let's expand this. Let's get to TikTok. Well, couldn't do that until a couple days ago because I had deleted TikTok when the ban happened because I was mad that it was going away and I'm like, I don't even want this on my phone, so I deleted it. Couldn't get it back because it was no longer on the app stores. Didn't know that was going to happen. So I got it back a couple days ago over the weekend when it was finally able to download again. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make our TikTok account. It's going to be great. We're going to upload our clips. We're going to be famous. So on and so forth. Wrong. Not the case.
You were wrong.
We were wrong. So I made an account. It's really easy to make a TikTok account, and if you go too fast, you miss some things. So I went too fast, and you're supposed to set your birthday.
You had 2 birthdays to choose from.
I had 2 birthdays to choose from, and I chose that exact day. 3 days ago. It was like 2/15/2025. And TikTok said, nice try, you're an infant. And they didn't let me do anything. I couldn't follow anyone. I couldn't search anything. You can't post anything that's not private. And it took me a second. I'm like, oh, it's because they think I was born today. So I deleted the account. I deleted the account and made a second account. I made the same error. I did the same
Do
thing.
not tell me that.
Yep.
Tell me you made it again.
Oh no.
My gosh.
I told Jaden that because Jaden had texted me and said, you have to do this. And I'm like, Jaden, I'm trying. I'm trying so hard.
Jaden is my sister.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know.
So yeah, I did it the second time. Deleted that account because I screwed up again. And then I made a third account. account number 3 with a different username because they're all taken, even though I just deleted it. I'm still not sure about that. But it didn't even give me the option to set a birthday, but they still are like, nice try, baby. You can't use TikTok.
Nice try, idiot.
Nice try,
baby.
idiot. Yeah. So then I fired off a little email to TikTok support, and they're like, here, let me find the exact email because it's real condescending and I need some support here. They're like,
I think I have the picture that you sent me. I'm trying to find it.
It says, thanks for contacting TikTok. We understand how important your account is to you. The safety of our younger users, like you, is our priority. Users under 13 have a more limited interactive experience, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I'm not a younger user. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
and
so
they
you think
finally,
I'm young.
So you think I'm young and...
You think I'm ageless.
So youthful. So they finally got back to me after my semi-sassy email back to them saying, hey, I'm typing this email. I'm not an infant. And they wanted me to respond with my username and a picture of my government-issued ID. You know what? They have all the information about me anyway. You know,
all your data now.
They have everything.
What
my social? Sure.
That is exactly what they have warned us against.
And I'm like, here, have my license.
Somebody emails Mallory from a TikTok email and says, please send in a picture of your ID. Yep,
no questions asked. Take whatever you want. Here's my routing number and my bank account number. Want my social security number? There it is too. It's at the bottom.
This is how much I need to be on this app. This is how much I need it.
They sent a note in that email. Please don't send your birth certificate. So that's happened before. Someone's done that.
Yeah. Yep.
So you know, of course I wouldn't exploit my identity, and of course I wouldn't share my data. But I mean,
exploiting her identity and sharing her data for you
and
guys.
Our TikTok username is. Of course, I'd never do.
We can have an amazing TikTok account for you to consume.
This is the third username, so forgive the complicated nature of it. It is _booked_pod on TikTok.
Love it.
We have our
honestly, that's pretty easy to remember because it's
not
just
too
period
bad
after every word.
The first one was perfect. It was just all one word. _booked_pod. Nope. Deleted. Baby.
Man.
Nice try.
That was a baby.
That was a child.
Imposter baby.
We're getting some action though on TikTok right now.
That's good.
Sadie Myerson would never. And broccoli.
Oh, I love that broccoli video. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely need to go check it out.
Kayla found an amazing image of an orange cat.
I created that image. Don't get it twisted. I created that using AI. So
was it chat?
No, it's chat. Chat can't do images.
Oh, I didn't know. I've never used it.
You know about chat?
I've never used it. I'm afraid. I'm scared.
It's not a thing to be afraid of. It's actually amazing, and you should embrace
I'm scared. I can't let the internet have my information and thoughts.
I use it to grammatically check myself with everything.
It's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, because I have issues, and you aren't there to help me anymore on a daily basis.
You can reach me wherever I am at any given point in the day.
Call me, beat me.
All right.
Well, anyways, follow us on TikTok. This is not a baby.
This is not a baby. Although we may sound youthful.
We should get a verification for that. Like, you legit verified yourself.
I did. My entire identity.
Some sort of, verified by ID.
Yeah.
Government official.
Government official. This is my ID. Take it.
Stamp of approval.
Applied from TikTok support.
US. Like how there's those US owned businesses.
Yes. We are now sponsored by the United States government. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
I can't.
It's not a possibility. Okay.
All right. Okay. So, We are on Throne of Glass series. This episode will be about book 1, Throne of Glass. Mallory, do you want to give a little recap about the ways that you can read this series? Mallory has read the entire series. I have finished just book 1 at this point and halfway through book 2. But there are multiple ways to read the series, and we will explain why we chose to do it the way we did.
Yes. So Throne of Glass has 2 different styles of reading. There is the romantic version and the purist version. The romantic version is, I'm reading it from this guide that I've been using by T.L. Branson. Thank you.
Thank you.
The romantic version starts with Throne of Glass, and this reading order places the book, The Assassin's Blade, at the point where it'll make the most emotional impact. And it positions Tower of Dawn to allow for the best transition from Empire Storms to Kingdom of Ash. That is the version that Kayla and I are doing and have done. Highly recommend. Trust me.
Yes. I love the romance and the emotional impact, so I'm here for that.
Then the purist version, the purist reading order, keeps the entire series in publication order. So if you really just want to be truthful and honest with yourself, just go by publication order. You're getting the same story. It's just might not be as emotionally impactful. You're getting all the same content. And that puts the Assassin's Blade first in that one.
Assassin's Blade is technically the prequel.
Yes.
And was released. Was that released first? Or it was released after?
No, that was released
Okay,
later.
it was released after, but like in chronological order, if you want to read it the purest way, it would come first. And then also we are planning to do, well, I am planning to do, Mallory has already done, a tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. Yes, where we'll go back to back, chapter for chapter, and we'll post the reading guide on our Instagram. That way, when we get to that point, you guys will know how to read it. But essentially, the 2 books are taking place at the same time with following different people's stories, and so you're flipping back like a couple chapters at a time and reading 2 books at once. That way, like, you're in the same timeline, but you're just following 2 different characters, and from what I understand. So, yeah. So I'm excited for that because I feel like, honestly, while it will take more time, it will be less confusing for me. Because the timeline I would struggle with, I think.
Yeah. And like, after I've done it, I've known people to completely skip one of these 2 books. I don't know about that, but regardless, I think that if I were to read Empire of Storms and then go to Tower of Dawn, by the time we get to the last book, I would have been a little lost because it's not the same group of people that you're following in Tower of Dawn. And so this way it gets everything at the forefront of your mind and you're ready for the last book.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. Yeah, so we are reading the romantic version. So that would put us reading Throne of Glass as book number 1, which we're going to discuss today. And Mallory has read a lot more Sarah J. Maas than me. I started ACOTAR. I'm like halfway through the 3rd book. Not feeling it as much as I thought I would. It's not working for me, but maybe it will someday.
We listen and we don't judge.
I'm holding space for that. Holding space.
Let me hold your pinky.
But I really loved the 2nd book of ACOTAR.
Oh yeah.
Because it's all romance and I love it. But,
such a good one.
Anyways, Mallory has read a lot more Sarah J. Maas books than I. And yeah, do you want to give a little intro about that?
I have not read her Crescent City series. And that's been on my list, but now I feel like we should just read that together and talk about it at a later date. Yeah, I've started with ACOTAR, and honestly, her books are what kind of got me out of a big reading slump. That series, I plowed through those books. They were so good and so much fun. And I think that before we dive into talking about Sarah J. Maas, that we should focus on it was fun. I enjoyed myself. A lot of people love to criticize these books and love to criticize Sarah J. Maas and fans of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my own critiques, of course. You'll hear them. But I don't know. I don't support the idea of people putting down other people for the things they like to read because they like to read high fantasy. And I don't know. I've just come into contact with too many people who talk about books with a judgmental tone, and I'm not here for it. I'm here to have a good time. And if you like what you're reading, read on. Don't let anyone else make you feel bad about it. It's
Yeah, I
popular for
mean,
a
like, it's
reason.
popular for a reason. Yeah, exactly. Like,
They're fun to read.
yeah, and I haven't really heard much about Throne of Glass until recently. Like, I feel like everybody's reading it now,
Yeah.
but this book was released in 2012. Like, it's been out for a really long time. So, I think ACOTAR really got this
Yeah,
series on the map.
for
And
sure. People really like these books. They're very
yeah,
popular. I
yeah.
read somewhere, I should have written this down, that SJM wrote Throne of Glass when she was 16.
No
And they weren't
way.
published till she was 22,
Oh,
which is
okay,
very
that's
young.
so impressive.
Yeah.
That is
Like,
so impressive.
yeah.
Do you think
I did not fact check,
wrote
but
at 6?
16.
I mean, you could write something incredible, like, now, definitely. But, like, at 16, what were we thinking about? Like, it was in a, like, mess. You
I
would have
don't
wrote
know.
it beautifully, but it would have been a mess.
I cannot imagine. I'll have to. I don't know if I was having any, like, normal, intelligent thoughts at 16. Like,
Seriously. No, that honestly, that just gives me so much more appreciation for this. I mean,
yeah.
I already had like so many good things to say, but like,
Yeah. I didn't fact check
wow.
that, but I feel like it's true.
Well, let's fact check it now. Let's make
Okay,
sure.
let me look it up.
When did SJM write Throne of Glass? Yeah, 2002 when she was 16 years old.
It's pretty crazy.
She
So
posted
awesome.
chapters of the novel to the online writing forum Fiction Press.
Oh, yes.
Moss continued to work on the novel over the next decade, and it was published in 2012.
That's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's so young.
Oh, that's interesting. Somebody compares it to a retelling of Disney's Cinderella.
She was a slave for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it says in her story the heroine is an assassin instead of a damsel in distress. Like, that's kind of the biggest
It's kind of the
like,
plot.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not following that
I
one.
don't know about you, but that seems like an important detail to change.
I don't know about you, but yeah, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong on that one, chat. Let's just Google AI, Gemini. Let's call her by her correct
Call her by
name.
her name. What if Cinderella just sharpened the end of that broom and became an assassin?
Or the slipper. The glass,
slipper.
the glass slipper. Maybe that's where
Okay.
it's getting it, but
Yeah,
that's not
maybe.
Gemini. That's not correct. I know
No,
that for
you
a
missed the mark there.
fact. But anyways, that is super impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I'll just give like my initial thoughts on
Yeah.
book
Let's hear
one,
it.
and then you can give yours. When did you read this, by the way? Like,
I
how
only
long
read
ago?
this like last year. I think over the summer
Okay.
I read these because I finished I was reading the last one on the drive to your wedding in
Oh, okay.
August.
Wow.
So yeah, over the summer.
What an emotional weekend you were having.
I know. Oh God.
Very emotional. It's really funny. Yeah, so my initial thoughts after reading the first book. So, spoiler alert, loved it. Loved every minute of it. I love the characters. I love her style of writing. And that's what I've been saying about ACOTAR is I love her writing. and I think it was just the story for me. With Akatar, like I just don't think I liked the story, but I really enjoy her writing. I feel like she gets to the point, isn't overly descriptive, but like there's still this sense that you're in another world. She really uses her words carefully without like just like being overly descriptive, because I find that some fantasy books are like that, and that's fine, but it's just like not what I would prefer to read. But I felt like every character was important. Everybody had their own story, and I was invested in everybody's story. It didn't matter if they were the villain or if they were just like some side character or whatever. They were important and I cared about them and I cared about what happened to them. Like Lady Caltaine comes to mind. Like I thought she was just like this girl that like didn't want Selena to be with Dorian because like she was after the crown, but then like her story just takes like such a shift, and like I was
Oh
like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, like I hated her at first because I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, how dare you come between Selena and Dorian? But then at the end of the book, I'm feeling so bad for her, and I just love how like we just got pulled in like that. I love how the point of view changes and we really get everybody's like inner thoughts at some point or another. And yeah, I mean those are my initial thoughts.
Yeah. I agree. She's really good at writing like the high stakes actiony
Mhm.
moments too. Sometimes those can bore me a little bit, and like they're just really good. I really like the description. I found like when I first started reading this book, I was a little uncomfortable at first with the imagery that she was giving, like with the people being ripped open and like that kind of stuff was like,
Yeah, it is
wow.
kind of gory. Yeah,
It
it
is
really is.
gory. It's more
Yeah.
gory than Akatar, which I read first. And yeah, it was a lot, but it's good. I don't know. I think it's okay to be a little uncomfortable when you're reading something, as long as you know
Mhm.
it's not like disturbing you. But yeah, I think she writes that really well, and she, like Kayla said, every character meant something to me and is going to continue meaning something, and it's just that's important, and it's hard to find in big
Mhm.
series like this. I
Yeah,
really liked it.
definitely. I have a vested interest in everybody's story, and
Hmm.
I feel like that's really hard to come by in a
Yeah.
series. So yeah, that's those are our initial thoughts. But I think we're just kind of gonna go through the story bit by bit and just kind of recap, and as we go along we'll just give our thoughts
Hmm.
on all the moments. And there's a lot of them.
Yes.
So the story starts out, Selena is an assassin. She's the best assassin,
Oh
and
yes.
but she's in prison. She was captured, and she's in prison, and Prince Haviliard and his men
His
arrive
men.
at the prison, and they take her and they say, you're going to compete in this competition if you want to. You're going to be my champion. And the king is holding this competition where I think there's 23.
Yeah,
Yeah,
23.
23 like thieves or assassins or just all these like bad people are going to
Hmm.
compete and see who's the baddest. And I choose you to be my champion. And so if she wins the competition, she will earn a job with the king and have a chance of freedom after 4 years of service to the king. So that's
Hmm.
pretty enticing to her.
Yeah.
She takes the offer.
She will do pretty much anything for freedom. That's what she wants most.
And we see this continue throughout the story. Even though she's no longer in prison, she's constantly just wanting to free herself of anything or anyone. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's definitely a big theme in the book.
It makes you wonder what happened before this. why,
Mm-hmm.
what happened, with who.
Yes.
Oops.
Yeah, at this point we don't know why she's in prison. We don't know any of her backstory, and that's definitely an intriguing part of it.
Yeah.
Because, she was the best. How'd she end up here?
They say it
How did they get her?
repeatedly. She's the most feared assassin in the
Mhm.
land. So many times this is said.
Yes. She's
like
very
she's
famous.
18 in
Yeah,
this when this
she's
starts.
18.
She's 18 years old. But we find out in the early chapters that she was 8 years old when her master guardian person, a Robin, found her and took her into his, what do they call it? The assassin's keeper.
Yeah, the Assassin's Keep, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he trained her
Yes.
to be a killing machine.
Which she is.
She
She's up
lives
against these master thieves, these other assassins, just straight up murderers. There's Cain, Xavier, Knox. There's a few others. Grave. Cain. When they talk about Cain, and who's the Cain and Jack Barlow from the last series. I know we've moved on, but when they I just want to ask you something.
Okay.
When books describe a villain, male character, as kind of big and blonde, do you picture someone in particular?
Kato.
Yes, it's Kato.
100%. I was just gonna say that the only person I could picture was Kato.
That's it, and it's every book I read.
From the movie. From the movie.
That actor's name. What's his name? Whatever.
Oh, what is his name? Alex something. Is it Alex?
I'm so happy we agree on that because I've been wondering,
Alex.
and I've been waiting to ask you that. I
Gosh,
picture him every time.
So similar.
Every time there is a villain who's blonde and kind of a jerk. He's muscly.
Alexander Ludwig.
Right, that's his name.
Oh,
look him up. He is
heartthrob back in the day. He was
Kato. Yeah.
Man.
We'll talk about Kato at some point.
I feel like I had a poster of him on my wall at some point.
You might have.
A lot of things too.
See? I don't remember
other
anything
book
else.
adaptations, I believe.
Oh. Well, he was a good Kato, and he's stuck in my brain for every other character who's blonde and male.
Seriously.
Honestly, that's it.
Ew, now he's in that Viking show.
What Viking
show? It's really weird. I don't know, it's just all about
Vikings. Probably looks like a Viking, so...
Yeah, he looks disgusting.
Sorry to our Viking listeners.
It's a good looking villain. Okay.
He was in those Hunger Games magazines we brought to study hall.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, so we meet all of her competitors, and they're pretty scary too. But one thing about Selena is she has the confidence of, I guess, the most feared assassin in the
23
land.
feared assassins.
Yeah. She has so much confidence that she can eliminate anyone. I don't think it's ever a question of whether she's going to win. It's never talked about whether she's going to win or not. And they think that she is so much so going to win that they tell her specifically.
Yeah.
During these tests, so the competition consists of their training sometimes during the day, and then they have these tests where they have challenges of some sort, and then I think they judge them all, and then the person that was last is removed from the competition. So they have all these tests, and then it comes down to a final duel, which we'll get there. But anyways, Dorian, who is the prince, he is the one who is championing Selena in the competition. And Kale, find another way to pronounce it. I don't know. Chao. That is the name that a 16-year-old created. So that's where we're going. Kale. He is her guard. He is the captain of the guard of all the king's guards, but he is specifically her guard during the competition. So they kind of team up and kind of manage her in a way,
Yeah.
and because they want her to win. They want her to win at the end of the day. And so they tell her specifically, don't show all of your skills.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it obvious that you are Selena Sardathian
The
because
goat.
she's famous. Everybody knows. If they know her name, they know her and they'll know her abilities.
Yeah.
And so she kind of sticks to the middle of the crowd and isn't supposed to be super flashy, and that kills her inside.
Uh-huh. She's very cocky.
Yeah, she's very cocky and very proud, and
She's kind of a brat.
yeah, she's a brat. Um, she does not like that she can't show Kane what she's made of, and that she just has to be this little itty bitty girl. I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl. I don't know what poison smells like.
Just a girl. Well, she doesn't know.
No,
Anyway,
she really doesn't. Sorry. Whoops.
we'll get to that. But yeah, so anything else before we...
I have a
Move on.
comment about Kaol if we're ready for criticism.
Okay, let's get to it.
Since we mentioned him and he's supposed to be, captain of the guard, top dog
Mhm.
in this situation, assigned, tasked with guarding the most feared assassin in the land. I think it's just really interesting that he, Selena has this insane room with like this suite with all these different little closets and like several rooms in her room, and he clearly didn't inspect it because like there's just all these secret
That's
passageways just behind that tapestry on the wall. We don't need to look behind that. This castle's full of secrets. We don't need to check her room. No, it's
That's
fine.
so true.
That part was so shocking to me. Like, oh, okay. That wasn't boarded up. We're not
Yeah.
anticipating this. This
Wow.
insane, like, she's kind of a
Yeah,
prisoner.
this insane, like, escape artist.
Like,
we're just not gonna... Number one, like, how does she have a balcony? Because she has a balcony.
yeah, she does.
She could
It's always
literally
guarded.
leave whenever she wants. No,
like-
she really can't. I mean, like, they
No.
make it clear that there are guards everywhere, that they will
Well,
literally die if they try to escape, and
yet.
they're there for their freedom at the end of the day. They're not there to die.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take every chance they can get to just
I don't know. But
stick it out.
for as much as she wants to be free and get out of something underneath someone's thumb, she is given a way out. So
she's
easy.
she's just a girl.
She's just a girl.
But I think that also leads back to her being so cocky, is like she never thought that she wouldn't get her freedom.
No.
You know, she knew at the end of the day that
Mhm.
like it would be her.
Yeah.
So what's the need to escape?
Yeah.
You know, she's just gonna keep continuing to do her job for the king, and then eventually she's gonna get released.
She'll get out of it.
Yeah. So
That I have another criticism, but I think we can save it.
did you not start by saying people should be positive? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
You were saying, like,
Totally.
don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a genre, book talk, all that. No, I
I
get
still have my critiques.
it. No, I know. We have so many critiques. That is our personality at the end of the day.
That's all this is. Anyway, but we can move on and I'll circle back when the time is right.
Okay. But yeah, so we're introduced to Dorian, the prince, who brought her there, and Kale, her guard. It's so not
Kale.
romantic when I say Kale.
I kind of
I
read
might
it as
just say
Cole.
Cole. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just say Cole.
No.
If you switch the O and the A, like that's what it is.
Kale.
That's how I read it.
All right.
I
Say what
might
you
say
will.
Cole first. Yeah, let's say Kale. It's fine. It's fine. She was 16.
She was 16.
Okay, we'll give her some grace. So then, in the midst of this, we see some romantic feelings between Kale and Selena, but we also see a little bit of
Mhm.
flirting between her and Prince Dorian as well. So she's caught herself in quite a little love triangle here.
Mhm. They're best friends. The prince and Kale.
Yes, the
Childhood
prince
best
and
friend.
Kale are childhood best friends. But the thing that I love about it is that they have like such good like banter back and forth. It's not this jealousy of
No.
like you
She's
are
mine.
with my woman. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
like it's this funny banter back and forth between the two of them. And
Yeah.
it's so cute. Like actually, like they're really not trying to be like that's my woman. They're trying to be like, "Hey buddy, do you like her? Because like if you don't like her, then I'll like her. But
If you
but
do,
if
I'll back
you
off. It's
like her,
totally
then I'll
fine.
just like tiptoe back." Like it's so funny. They're
Yeah.
just trying to test the waters at any given time, but then like neither of them will make a move.
They won't
It's
do
just-
it.
And I think it's because they value each other's friendship at the
Yeah.
end of the day. Like it's so cute. I love it.
She really does write friendship well. Because, like, with those two,
Yeah.
and then Selena and Nehemia, she just, it's, that's another thing that's not really found too often. At least in books I'm reading, there's not really a lot of, like, good friend, depictment? Yeah, maybe
Depictions?
depictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just like it. It's a good back and forth, and you need that to
Yeah, for sure.
make you like characters more.
Next, we get introduced to Lady Caltaine.
Yes.
She is there because she is courting Duke Parrington, and his champion is Kane, who everyone thinks is the biggest and baddest because they don't really know what Selena's made of yet. So he's got the best champion, so they think. Lady Caltaine is kind of trying to weave her way in there to get closer to Prince Dorian. That's her goal at the end of the day, is
Mhm.
to marry him. Which is what we find from her innermost thoughts. But
Yes.
she does not give good vibes to Selena because she thinks that obviously Dorian has feelings for Selena and
Yeah.
she
That's
does
like
not
what
like
the
that
whole
at all.
palace thinks Selena's there for. What's her name?
Lillian.
Lillian.
Yes.
Lillian Gordana. That's Lillian. That's Selena's like cover identity, and people kind of just think she's there as Dorian's lover, which Caltaine has a problem with. And later, like, conspires against her. This reminded me a lot of like a Shakespeare play of like there's one little scheme, and then there's a scheme that's based on top of this scheme, which is a lie. And so, like, something bad's gonna happen all because of the lie. And if we all just told the truth in the first place, none of this would have happened. That reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, wow. I never even thought about that, but it is very Shakespearean.
Yeah, that's what I
that
thought of.
whole relationship.
When she started conspiring, I was like, oh my gosh, it's very, very much William Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's kind of how I felt reading it, but like I couldn't put that into words.
Yeah, it's
You
got
did
that like
beautifully.
dramatic, soapy feel sometimes.
It is. It's like it's
Like
very
it could be a
dramatic.
play.
It could. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good take. But yeah, so Lady Caltaine's trying to weave her way in there by getting close to Duke Parrington and kind of infiltrating Prince Dorian's heart. Next we meet Princess Nehemia of Ailway. She is at the castle because she's trying to smooth over like the political relations of her territory and
to learn the ways of what is it? A darlin?
Adderlin. Yeah, whatever. A darlin or Adderlin.
Is that how you said it?
I don't know.
I read a
Probably
darlin.
a darlin. Yeah. No, it is.
Interesting.
It is.
Okay.
It's a darlin. Yeah, it is. For sure.
Completely backs off.
Your way is always right. My way is ridiculous. What was the other character from Harry Potter that I was always saying the wrong way? What was it?
Luscious Malfoy.
Oh, no, I
That's
didn't.
how you said it. You said Lucius.
No, there was another.
No, you said luscious. I know you said luscious.
I might have, but there was another one that was very much wrong.
Maybe it was
And
Hermione.
no, it wasn't the main one. I knew those because like
I
the
guess, yeah.
movies had already been out forever.
I don't remember.
No,
That's
there
what
was
stuck out for
another
me.
one.
Did you read
I'll have to
Cedric?
think of it. Yes, I did. Yes, it was
Of Cedric?
Cedric instead of Cedric. That was what it was. Yeah.
Yes. It's so
Mhm.
easy to do when you're reading.
It
Just
is.
make
And
stuff
like
up.
once you read something one time, one way,
It's stuck in there.
there's no going back. Like there's no going back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyways, she is there to smooth out relations with the king politically, and her and Selena kind of become great friends.
BFFs.
BFFs. Because Selena can speak in her language. Um,
Yeah.
and she kind of acts as like her translator for a while. They both teach each other their languages and have like these little study sessions, and yeah,
Mhm.
they just grow really close. Yeah. So and there's one moment where her and Princess Nehemia are like walking around, and she kind of senses that maybe the princess is there to get acquainted with Dorian and that
Mhm.
they're maybe gonna have like a relationship. And I loved this quote because Selena asks her um if they're gonna get married, and that's why she's there. And
Mhm.
Nehemia says, "That pretty boy, he grinned at me far too much, and you should only see how he winked at the other women in the court. I want a husband to warm my bed and my bed alone." And I was like, what?
Burn. She's like, no
Yeah.
thanks.
So this is kind of cementing that idea that Dorian is just like a big player, that he's got commitment issues.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's
and
also like
that
19, so like
he's also what?
19. They're all 18,
Yeah,
19.
it's
Like,
true.
he's also
You
a
did
child.
you did write that note in here, and I was like, I don't even think I realized. Like, yeah, that's true. He's also
Oh,
19.
did
He
I
can.
really?
You wrote it somewhere. I remember seeing
Oh,
it,
yeah.
but it's just
Oh,
funny.
right. Okay. Whenever I will not spar with the princess. Would you rather spar with me? Perhaps if we had a private lesson in your chambers, he said smoothly. Tonight. I'll be waiting. She curled her hair around a finger. They're 18 years old.
But see, that's an 18-year-old thing to do, to
Like,
curl
yeah,
your
the
hair around
playing
your
with your
finger
hair.
like that.
Like,
Yeah, oh
what
yeah.
the heck?
Me, at 26, still do it all the time. Anyway. Um,
Just a girl.
but yeah, so Dorian is kind of portrayed as this like player, and so Selena kind of has fun with that. They like flirt with each other a lot, but you can tell that she doesn't want to get like too close to him because she doesn't exactly
Mm-hmm.
trust him. Um, but yeah, so then they get into some of the tests and training for the competition. They tell everybody that she's a jewel thief
Mm-hmm.
instead of an assassin,
Yeah.
and everybody just kind of runs with that and just like doesn't expect much from her. The
Except
first
for Knox.
Oh yeah, except for Knox.
He kind of sees it. He's like, yep.
Mhm.
And what he says, he's gonna bet on her winning the whole thing.
Yes. They have like a separate training session, I think, before the dagger test, and she's like kind of training him to shoot the daggers, and he notices like she's like extremely skilled,
Mm-hmm.
and um yeah, he says that his bet is on her to win the whole thing, and yeah, and then in the competition she tries to stay toward the middle of the crowd, but then she hears some like taunting and all kinds of things, and she ends up like
She
just
can't
going
help it.
off. She can't help herself. She throws them all in the center, and yeah, so everybody's like, where
Oh.
did this girl
Jewel
go?
thief, huh?
Yeah, so Kegel gets very upset about that because he is like her protector. He reminds me a lot of, just coming off of the Empyrean series, he reminds me a lot of Dane.
Yeah.
You've got this one guy who just wants to protect her at
And
all
do the right
costs.
thing.
Yes, do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
very strong willed, live by the codex. Like,
Yes.
the rules
Yeah.
are the rules.
Please don't break them. I'll get mad.
Yeah. Oh, please don't break the rules. No, absolutely not. And yeah, that's kind of how I saw Kale to begin with. But he's got a lot more depth
Yeah.
than Dane, and well, what Rebecca has graced us with of Dane, he's a little bit underwritten. But anyways, um,
But
s-
anyway.
anyways, so yeah, but her and Kale will actually get a lot closer. She ends up confiding in him that her parents died when she was 8 years old.
Yes.
She tells him about where she was born, how she became an assassin, and how she became imprisoned. And then he asks her about the scar on her right hand. I thought this was an interesting moment. So he
Oof.
asked her about that. She says, "When I was 12, Arbin Hummel decided I wasn't nearly as skilled at swordplay with my left hand, so he gave me a choice. Either he could break my right hand or I could do it myself."
Kind of hardcore. What? She was 12.
She was
It's
12.
crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, just crazy things that she's been through, all the scars that she has. Like she is this way for a reason, and I'm excited in the other books to kind of get more of a glimpse of how she became who she is.
Yeah, I cannot wait for you to keep reading. This is very challenging, like going through a summary and just like holding it back.
No, I can't wait to get even farther into this. But I found the quote about when Kale and Dorian are like going back and
Right.
forth with each other. um so Dorian says to him, "You worry too much." And then Kale says, "It's my occupation to worry." Dorian, "Then you'll have gray hair before you're 25, and Sardothian certainly will not fall in love with you." I just love it. I love their little back and
We're
forth.
just pals.
It's so cute. It's so cute. But yeah, so there's still this dynamic between all three of them that just keeps building and building and building, and yeah.
And I feel like the next noteworthy event is the dead champion that they
Yeah.
find.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing another test, another challenge, and one of the champions doesn't show up. And so they find him later, like brutally mauled and like ripped apart. And they don't know what killed him. So that invites a new challenge and mystery. And kind of a scary thing. Like, oh no, someone's dead. In this super locked down castle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a great turning point. I feel
Yeah,
like
it was a lot of
it
fun.
just added this bit of mystery that I loved because it's kind of like the quintessential murder mystery because we got to know all of these different players,
Uh-huh.
right? And all their like thoughts and things. And it's
And
like one
then
of those stories where it's like any of these people could have done it. You know what I
Knives
mean?
Out.
All of them. Yeah, it's like Knives Out style. Like
Mm-hmm.
they could have you could see a world in which any of these
Any of
people
them.
could have done it because they all have different motivations
Yeah.
and yeah, so
And
it's
that's
just
really
it
fun.
was really fun. It was really fun. Um but yeah, so he ends up murdered and they don't know why and it's just kind of this big mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one less person that she has to fight against, so everybody's kind of like,
Okay, that's fine.
who cares?
You didn't like that guy anyway.
Yeah, nobody really thinks anything of it like at this point. Um and then something else that we didn't bring up earlier, pretty early on in the book. Selena notices this big clock tower at the
Right.
the gas castle.
At the gas castle. Then we're recrapping in our last episode. What's going on?
Oh gosh. Yeah. So the glass castle has this big clock tower with these gargoyles, very medieval looking. And she finds these weird like markings on some of the stones, and
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't really know what they are. So Princess Nehemia eventually helps her out and tells her that they are like this ancient markings from a religion that was like long ago has died.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells her to leave them alone.
Yeah.
Such things are forgotten for a reason.
Yes.
And
Do
that
not
would be
engage.
that would be enough for me to, to walk
But
away. But not enough for
that kind
Selena.
of warning? No.
Yeah, that's a big warning.
Say no more.
So then we get into the tunnels of it all.
That not so hidden tapestry.
The not so hidden tapestry.
It's so
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's so like such a corny movie thing to do that it's almost like when you're at the bookcase and you like pull out a book and then
Yeah,
there's like
that's
this secret
exactly
passage.
what this
It's like
is.
I wonder where it is.
You're telling me that like no one knows that's there? The captain of the
Yeah.
guard puts the assassin in this room and does not know. That
No.
drove me crazy. But
No,
it's fine.
it is crazy. But yeah, so Selena notices a draft in her rooms,
In her rooms.
which is another thing I just want to touch on. I texted Mallory probably 20% of the way through this book, and I was like, why is she using the plural rooms instead of
Like
room?
exclusively.
Yeah, like
In her rooms.
exclusively. And I get it, she has more than one room, but like you don't gotta brag. Just say she's going back to her room. Or another word that
Her
that could have been
quarters.
better is quarters. That's what I was thinking. Is
Her
quarters.
rooms.
Why don't we just say her quarters? Because like to me it sounds like a typo. But you know, that's just
Yeah.
something
It's
I was
not
thinking.
doesn't flow
But
off the tongue.
no, it doesn't. But anyways, in her rooms, hidden behind this tapestry, which features like a stag and this like royal woman, she
Yes.
finds this draft, which is coming from a door that has never been opened. I don't know. Anyways, she goes in to the tunnels, and the first thing she finds out is that she can spy on the party that she wasn't invited to, which as an 18-year-old, that's all you care about. It's a party you were not invited to. So she spies on Kale and Dorian, and Dorian's like dancing with all these women, and she gets a little jealous or whatever, and she's like, whatever, I didn't want to go to the party anyway. And so she leaves, and she goes down one of the other paths, and she finds an kind of like an escape route. It leads her to like the boats, and there's like this gate where she pretty much finds out that she
Could fully leave.
she could leave. She
Mhm.
could leave. She throws a stone and hits the water and tries to see if any of the guards are like shook or anything, and they don't move. And so she's like, I could actually leave right now. But she decides that she wants to she says this is a quote from the book. She doesn't say it, but it's just whatever. The quote from the book is, she would not run from them as a common criminal. She would face them, face the king, and earn her freedom the honorable way.
Yep.
So,
Very
way to be
honorable.
honorable, Selena, after being an assassin.
Just murdering people.
The last thing I would expect from her is honor, but
I
anyway.
choose honor.
She has had some character growth, apparently. So yeah, she goes back. She's like, I'm not leaving tonight. And she goes down the third path. In this room, she finds two tombs of royals, it appears, based upon the crowns and everything. And she sees the weird marks, which those aren't two words, it's one word, it's weird mark, but it means the same thing, which is a weird marking.
I read it as word mark.
Oh, it might be. Word.
I thought it was
It's a word mark. That would make more sense if it was weird mark.
it's a weird mark. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
It's a word mark, but it is a weird mark.
Okay.
And that, folks, is
Yeah.
why we have an English major on the podcast. It's
to
a word mark.
pronounce fake words.
Anyways, to pronounce it.
Really using my knowledge.
Anyways, she
Oh, okay.
finds the word marks that she's seen before. So she discovers that the woman's tomb, it's the tomb of Elena, the first princess of Terrasin, who was either Fae or half Fae. And the man, Gavin, was the first king of Adarlan. Adarlan. Anyways, so Elena actually appears to her. So she can see dead people.
No
New
big deal. Just roll with it.
No big deal. She can see dead people, and she explains to her that the word marks are sort of a portal between worlds. So, two big things. There's more than one world, and there's a way to get travel between
Yeah.
them. She tells her, "You must listen to what I tell you. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything has a purpose. You were meant to come to this castle just as you were meant to be an assassin to learn the skills necessary for survival." And then she says, "Something evil dwells in this castle, something wicked enough to make the stars quake. You must stop it. Forget your friendships. Forget your debts and oaths. Destroy it before it's too late, before a portal is ripped open so wide that there can be no undoing it."
That's a serious message. She's dropping a lot of knowledge and a lot of weight right now.
Yeah, a lot.
She's like, you have to win. We need you to win.
It's
And
imperative
she's like,
that you win.
okay. It's my first time talking to a ghost. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
She tells her, "You have to win this competition, become the king's champion, because everyone's fate depends on it, basically."
yeah. And with that, I leave you.
And
like,
with that, I
she
leave.
gives her a necklace, and kind of
Mhm.
Selena goes back to her rooms.
Yeah, and we
process
learn later that the necklace is the Eye of Elena, and it protected her from the Dark Lord Erewhon during a battle that they had, and they were able to defeat him because the necklace like deflected his power,
Yeah.
and then they had time to really defeat him. So that's important. It's just like a source of protection for her.
And they find soon another champion is dead. And it's like, now it's confirmed it's not an accident anymore. And like, these are happening on
Mhm.
purpose. Like, someone's got a plan. Someone's got it out for these people. His brain is gone.
Yes, his brain is gone. This is where it gets gory.
Mhm.
His brain is gone. On the wall, written in blood, are word marks. And next, we find Varen dead.
Another
And
champion.
all of his organs are removed. And they find out that it's done by some sort of creature with like very sharp claws.
So there's like scratches on the wall or something.
Mhm.
It's really.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
very
scary.
soft and weak, and this is just
scary.
gross.
Yes. Yeah, so all of these are champions. They don't know why, like, the champions
Mhm.
themselves are being targeted. But yeah, so, I just don't know how we're gonna cover all of this. But anyways, we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. Anyways, I really like the scene with Dorian and Selena when he finds her playing the piano. I think that's adorable. They just have so many good moments. But she's playing a song to like her ex, Sam, and we don't know his whole backstory yet, but we know it's very mournful and sad and somber. And
Yeah.
yeah, they just kind of bicker, they go back and forth, they do a little bit of flirting.
Yes.
And it's just a little bit of cuteness between them. But yeah, he's just overcome with emotion when he sees her playing the piano, and he can't stop
very
thinking
beautiful.
about it. And he just wonders like how an assassin could just like play something so beautiful and just be like so emotional. And that's when he starts to like see this other side of her, really.
Mhm. Elena returns with another scary, horrifying warning.
Mm-hmm.
Not horrifying. It was just ominous. She says, I think she comes to her in a dream and says, I came to warn you, keep an eye on your right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look to your right and you'll find the answers. You'll figure it out, like, during this next challenge. So then they're doing the next challenge, and it's the poisons challenge, where they're given a few vials of poison and they have to, what is it? They have to drink one of them?
They have to like rank them from like most
Right.
poisonous to least, and then the least poisonous they have to drink.
Yes. Okay, right.
And they have like elixirs to kind of like, or antidotes to
Mm-hmm.
stop it, but you don't want to drink
No,
something that's
you don't want to
crazy
drink poison.
poisonous. So she basically copies off her neighbor,
By
which I think
looking
is
her right.
what SJM probably did on her SATs.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I'm just taking everything. Now that
Yeah.
you said she was 16 when she read this, I'm
16.
like taking everything from like personal experience.
Just cheating on tests.
That's so funny. But yeah, she gets it right because she copies her neighbor, just like Elena told her to do. And she's fine. She doesn't have to drink the
Yep.
poison. But she's pretty bad at detecting
Gets out of it
poisons,
all right.
honestly. Okay,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about the puppies. So Dorian is like in the barn with like all these puppies. And he says, this is actually a very pivotal moment in my mind. So he says, if the puppies like don't respond to humans, then one of them will have to be killed. And she's like, no, that's not happening. Like Selena is very angry. And she says, kill it. Kill it. For what reason? What did it do to you? So you'd kill it because of its temperament? It can't help being that way. And then she looks around and says, where is its mother? Perhaps it needs her. And I just thought this was really like flipping the story on its head.
Who are we really talking about?
This stood out to me as like, oh, okay, what's her relationship with her mother? So like it's like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. So that really left me wanting more, and I just really saw the parallels there. I
Yeah.
think she did a really good job of that.
And now
'Cause
she
she's
has
like,
a puppy.
yeah, because she's like, what? You would kill this innocent thing? And it's
Yeah.
just so ironic. It's like,
Mhm.
man, do you know what you are? But it's just, I just thought that was a really good moment.
Yeah.
Next, the cramps. The female cycle comes for us all. Magic or no magic.
Even
And
if you're an assassin.
yes, and I love it. I love this moment. It gives like a little bit of like reality to the book. And this is just like
Mhm.
once again thinking about her being in high school. It's just like
Yeah. And now I have cramps, so
this was our greatest plague. It was the thing. It was the thing that plagued us every month. Like how could you not write about it?
yeah,
Yeah. So
I get it.
she's having cramps, and we think, based upon their discussion, that Kale is going to ask her to the masquerade ball. But before he can get the question out, she vomits on the floor. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know, that scene like really stuck with me. So I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
Then something interesting happens between Selena and Nehemia, who we think are BFFs and know everything about each other. So she finds her in the library reading a book about word marks. And it's like very far advanced for somebody that like does not speak their
Mhm.
language, and she's like, "Huh,
Interesting. Thought you didn't know
how
anything.
can you read that?" Um and so she questions her about it, and then Nehemia pronounces a sentence in the common tongue like perfectly back to Selena, and she's like never done that before, and so Selena knows immediately, like she's been lying to me this whole time.
Real suspicious.
Yeah, super suspicious. She like feels really betrayed, and she's like, "Well, if I don't know you, then
Yeah.
maybe you could be the one behind all these like weird things
Mhm.
happening, you know?" Um yeah, so their friendship kind of gets a little dicey there.
Yeah.
And Selena thinks that something's going to happen at the Eulamos ball.
Mhm.
Which is why she really wants to go, because she thinks that like Princess Nehemia is gonna like I
Do
don't know,
something.
do something,
Cause a
kill another
scene.
champion, like whatever she
Yeah.
thinks. So she really wants to go. Then the day of Yolamas happens, which is like this big celebration in their
It's like
world.
Christmas.
Yeah, it's very similar to Christmas, and I wrote that down. So
Like
it's the
Yuletide.
celebration. Yeah, it's the celebration of the birth of the Lord of Gods, and it brought love into Aurelia, which is like their nation, and it banished the chaos that arose from the gates of the Word. Or the weird, however you say it.
Applies to both.
Weird. I'm just
Weird,
thinking of that new
weird.
girl.
Yes.
She's like,
Weird.
weird.
Right. See, there's connections everywhere.
Everywhere. If you look really
You'll look
hard.
close enough. The earth has music for those who listen. I think that's also Shakespeare.
Yeah, that actually is, I think. Don't ask me what it's from, but yeah, that sounds right. Mallory could tell me anything about Shakespeare and I'd be like, yeah, you right. Yep, he said that.
He did say that.
We should do like a segment sometime where it's like Shakespeare or nah, and you like just read me these like fancy quotes and I
That
try
would
to
be
tell
funny. We should do
That'd be
that.
funny. Like they do like the Shakespeare or Taylor Swift, but I would obviously know.
I
Like
mean,
I'm
we're
way too
too
advanced for that.
Yeah. We're too far
I am
past that.
gifted. I'm in the gifted Taylor Swift class. I'm gifted.
AP Swifty. That's what this is.
No, those aren't hard at all. I
No.
watch all those TikToks and they're not hard.
Yeah.
Anyways, I
Idiots.
would win so much money. I always hope that I run into those people. And
I
win,
never
like,
see someone
$500.
run up to me on the sidewalk saying, "Quick, quick!" That's all I want. I just want to win a fortune that way. I am never walking in New York City. Dang it!
I'm never walking. Period. But I'm surely not walking in New York City.
If someone's running up to me, I am running the other way. I don't care. I don't care what's on the line. Get away from me.
It's Yolamas, and Prince Dorian gives her a dog for Yolamas.
Right.
He gives her the dog that he was gonna like sacrifice that she got all up in arms about, and she names him Fleetfoot, which is an interesting name, but it's cute.
Not a fan. It's pretty stupid if you ask me.
It must have been what like her childhood stuffed animal was called or something.
Fleetfoot. It's a dog.
I know, but maybe it was like a family dog. I don't like to judge the animal's names because it's like maybe it means something, you know?
It means that she's fast.
Seriously. And Selena kisses Dorian on the cheek. Finally. We finally have some action going on. Some affection. So she's made her choice. Kale just ain't the one. She goes to the ball even though she's not supposed to, and Kale gets really mad at her, as he does. And then her and Dorian go back to her rooms. And they kiss for real. Not on the cheek. And Dorian is real in his feels.
Very flustered.
He says consequences be.
Oh, no, come on.
He'd find a way to make it work. He'd find a way to be with her. He had to. He had leapt from the cliff. He could only wait for the net. And then, I like this part, because it's like Kale's point of view switches, and he says, in the garden, the captain of the guard stared up at the young woman's balcony, watching as she waltzed alone, lost in her dreams. But he knew that her thoughts weren't of him. She stopped and stared upward. Even from a distance, he could see the blush upon her cheeks. She seemed young, new. It made his chest ache. Still, he watched until she sighed and went inside. She never bothered to look below.
Very sad.
No, poor Kale.
Unrequited love.
Seriously. All right. Then, Lady Caltaine and Duke Parrington, in the ultimate Shakespearean experience, they plot to take Selena down and lose the duel to Kane, who is Duke Parrington's champion.
There's a whole plot to like
Mhm.
slip poison into someone's drink. It's so Shakespearean. Like,
It
I
is.
just hope they drink the right poison. Like, it's just so silly and ridiculous. Like, this is as
Yeah.
best you got. Okay, sure,
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
But they just want to slow her down.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like, they
Mhm.
make it clear that it's not meant to kill her, it's just meant to slow her down enough that Kane can win the
Can
duel.
win.
Because that's the other thing, is that the duel isn't, nobody's meant to, like, end up dead. It's just, you're supposed to get to the point of, like, it's kind of
Disarm.
like a knockout in, like, boxing. Like, you're
Yeah.
just supposed to have them in a position
At
where
your
they can't
mercy.
fight anymore. Yeah, at your mercy.
Please.
So yeah, she learns about the sacrifices from a book that she's reading. So the creature is called the Rhetoric, and if you make a sacrifice to it, you mark the area around it accordingly, which is what we saw with one of the other victims. Um, and the beast will grant you the victim's strength. So the Rhetoric is taking the organs and all these things from the victim, and he is giving the person who summoned it the victim's strength in return, which is, that's very important. She
Mhm.
ends up coming face to face with the creature in the same tunnels that she was in
Yeah.
before. Kane is there. She realizes that Kane is the one who is summoning the Rhetoric, who's killing all the champions, and he is gaining all the strength from said champions. They duke it out.
Yeah.
She uses this very, very ancient sword, the sword of the ancient king, and she kills the Rhetoric and escapes.
Yep.
But she has this knowledge now that it's Kane. He's the
Mhm.
one doing it. It's not Nehemia, who she thought. And yeah, that's a pivotal moment. So,
Yeah.
which then leads her to tell Knox, you need to leave.
Mhm.
Because
Get out of
again,
here.
Selena being her cocky self, she's like, bro, I'm gonna win this thing.
You have to just go. You should
You
just
gotta
go.
see yourself out. You should probably just like
You
quit.
should just go. I mean, it's wasn't gonna happen.
So funny. Like, that is so funny to me. She's like, you might as well just quit, because like you're not.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah, he's like,
Sure.
okay. She tells him about the escape route through her rooms, and he uses it and escapes the castle
Yeah.
before the duel. So he's gone.
Mhm.
Um oh, this was another thing I wanted to mention. So she keeps seeing these weird marks. Can't
You
stop
did
saying
say it.
it. It's word marks.
Say
Anyways,
whatever you want.
she sees these word marks written in chalk all under her bed. And at first we think like, oh, she's next, like
Uh-huh.
she's gonna be the next one, but she keeps like erasing them with her hand like every night, and like she just goes to bed thinking like, am I gonna be next? All these things.
Mhm.
But we later learn that this is actually Nehemia who is protecting her this whole time, which
Yeah.
is just like
Like, you
so
idiots,
cute.
stop
I
wiping
love
them
it.
off.
I love it. She comes in and just like keeps rewriting them like, I'm protecting you, you
Yeah.
idiot. Yeah, so I love it.
Very cute.
So then the duel commences. And the winner will be announced when they trap their opponent in a position of sure death and no further. So no death, just at your
Mhm.
mercy.
Just sure death.
Yeah. Um she drinks the poison that Caltaine gives her, and I thought this was really funny actually. So right before the battle, Kale gives her his sword to fight with, which is like kind of a cute like moment. Like, because he's not very like emotional, but he's just like, have my family's sword. It will protect you. Like, I believe in you. And she's like, thank you so much. And then, but then her BFF Nehemia comes down and is like, you should beat him with an Elway weapon and show them. And it's a staff. So, like, how is that gonna be
Not
more
a sword.
powerful in a battle? She's like, okay, girl, and like takes the staff. Said,
Sure, I'll
just
use this.
imagine like Kale just been like,
You're gonna give up a sword?
Like,
It's a
every
sword.
time this man takes like 2 steps forward, he's just rejected so hard.
So hard.
It's so sad. So anyway, she drinks the poison. They end up like fighting, but she can't really fight that well. Kane summons like all of these like demons and creatures and
Mhm.
all these things, and she's like seeing things.
But not everyone can see him.
Right. So it kind of looks like
She
she's like
looks
saving
she's having a
herself.
fit. Like
Yeah, like it's really weird. I don't know how nobody thought there was like anything wrong with that, but
no.
anyway, um she uh eventually sees Elena come to her rescue.
Mhm.
Um and she like shields her from Kane's like demon attacks and removes the poison from her body. Um so then she's able to regain her strength. She beats Kane, she becomes the victor, and everything's all like happy, like we're so
Yeah.
happy she's the victor. But while she's
Except
hugging Prince Dorian, Kane and the king exchange like this little look,
Mhm.
and he goes to like slay Selena from behind, but Kale intercepts him and kills Kane with his sword. So, okay, wait. SJM, I get you now, because he needed the
He
sword.
needed the sword. Just clicked.
There's a
Alright.
reason for everything, but like, why'd you have to have him offer it in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's just this theme of like,
He's
guess it's
noble
just this theme of like besties before the
for the
resties.
resties. So like that was the first person that Kale has ever killed. And that was a big deal to him.
Really
It
significant,
meant
yeah.
a lot.
It did. It did. And so once again, he's like given his all for this girl.
Mhm.
And she ain't giving him much in return, but that's okay. um so then a fight breaks out between Caltaine and Duke Parrington because she's like very
Mark.
mad that Selena is still alive.
Yeah.
Because once again, her goal at the end of the day is Selena gets killed or eliminated or banished so that she can sweep in and be Dorian's bride. Because
Mhm.
she does not like Duke Barrington. Like,
No,
she
he's just
says,
there
like, she
to get her
describes
somewhere.
him like so nasty. Like, I remember at one point she talked about like his meaty fingers. Like, it's
Yes.
so gross.
It's so
It's so
nasty.
gross. So she like
Completely
lady
repulsed.
yeah, so Lady Caltaine goes into like this huge spiral of like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna be with this guy for the rest of my life. Like, why is she not dead? Why didn't the poison work? She's saying all these things out loud, and Duke Parrington is like, what poison? What are you talking about? And
Totally
this
gaslights her.
shook me. It shook me
Yeah.
because I wasn't shook, that Selena won the competition. We all knew
No.
that was gonna happen
Yeah.
because there's like 7 more books.
A
But like this shook me. I was like, wait, what?
double betrayal.
He gaslights her. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And he has the guards take her away for the crime of poisoning Selena.
It's so bad.
And yeah, justice for Caltaine.
Justice for Caltaine.
Last time it was justice for Broccoli, now we're justice for all this gaslit woman. Um so yeah, so another big thing is like they want to make sure that Kale won't be punished for
Right.
killing Kane. That's like a big worry they have. But the king assures them that he won't be punished, and he kind of tells Dorian that like Selena was like probably fooling him the entire time, like just
Mhm.
getting close to him so that she could win and all these things.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know how that like helps you in the competition, but like
I don't
anyway.
know. Once love's involved.
But he kind of like gets into his head a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just another point. But
Mhm.
and then the king and Parrington are like talking about like using their power on Caltaine. We see throughout the book that they all have these like rings. And
Yeah.
Caltaine is like getting these weird headaches and like there's all these weird things happening. So you probably know a little bit more about that than I do at this point, but the king is like, your manipulation of her was interesting.
Mhm.
And he says like she was starting to look noticeably affected, and he says that Cain proves the physical transformative effects and Caltaine proves the ability to influence thoughts and emotions. So,
Yeah.
yeah. That's all you have to say on that.
That's kind of
You don't want
it.
to Yeah, you don't want to give too much away. But anyways, we find out that they're manipulating people. They have these like rings that are probably giving them this weird
Yeah.
power over people,
And
and
they're just using people as test objects.
Mhm. Yeah. And then he says he would like to test its full ability to hone the minds of a few others.
Mm.
So, that's a
Mhm.
little scary.
Yeah.
Anyways, um so then Dorian catches Selena and Kale like kind of hugging, and he's like, "Oh, did I walk in on something?" And um then she was like, "No, no." But then she breaks his heart and
Yep.
breaks up with him.
Breaks up with him.
Break up with your boyfriend.
'Cause I'm bored.
'Cause I'm free.
'Cause I'm free.
Because, like we mentioned before, all she wants is her freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom from everything, freedom from men, whatever. But it kind of cements, like, his dad's point of, like, maybe she was just using you this whole time.
Yeah.
But really, she just wants to be free. She sees that she has this wide open world in front of her in 4 years, and
In 4 years.
she just wants to experience it all. So she's like, what's gonna happen whenever I'm free? Like, I'm not gonna stay here with you. So it's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Um
Elena returns,
mhm.
tells Selena, there's so much more that you don't know. A quote we have here. Elena says, "You could rattle the stars. You could do anything if you only dared. And deep down, you know it too. That's what scares you the most."
Mhm.
She's just telling her,
Yes.
without telling her, of course. She's like, there's
Yeah.
so much more. You just don't know. There's so much more. And it's just
Yeah, and Selena
fading
thanks her for saving her life, and Elena replies with, "Blood ties can't be broken." So, um,
And then they move on.
yeah, blood ties. So, yeah, and then the final thing that happens in the book is the king like gives his ground rules for his champion. So
Yes.
he says, "You are going to do what I say, no questions asked. If you are caught, you deny that you know me, deny, deny, deny.
Uh-huh.
And if you fail any of the tasks or forget to return or don't return on purpose,
Yeah.
Kale will be killed. If you continue to not return, Nehemia will be killed, and then her brothers, and then her mother, etc., etc., etc."
Yeah.
So
Really
very, very
using her.
ominous. Very ominous. Um,
Kind of lifting the veil that, like, this guy's bad news.
very bad
Like,
news.
he's got plans.
He's
And
got
that's,
plans.
yeah, we'll get into that in the next one. But
Yeah.
it's really cool ending. Good
Yeah, very
cliffhanger.
cool ending. A very good cliffhanger, like, because you know she's gonna break the like, you know she is.
You
Like,
know
she's
it.
Selena. Like, she's gonna break the rules, and like all of these people are at risk now.
Uh-huh.
People that she loves
There's so much
dearly.
more now at stake.
So much at stake. Just a couple things I wanted to touch on quickly. So when we were talking about like blood ties can't be broken, obviously I have theories. Mallory has knowledge because she's read the whole series, but like that to me just tells me that she is much more powerful, obviously. She's
Yeah.
likely a descendant of the Fae. Maybe this is why like her parents were killed, because when the king like outlawed magic and all of that, like perhaps her parents were a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then there was another quote that was like, Yesterday, the bloodbane Caltaine put in your wine made you see it too. What lurks beyond the veil of this world? I don't think Caltaine intended that effect, but it reacted to your blood in that way. Magic calls to magic.
Ooh. What could it
So,
mean?
there's magic in her blood. In her blood. So that's just, I mean, that's not a hot take. She's literally spelling it out. But anyways, I think she's
The
magic.
tea feels hot though.
Amazing. Okay. Another thing that I think, which the tea is more hot on this one. I don't know if everyone would have caught this. But anyways, because I'm really gifted.
She's so gifted, guys. You don't even know.
So I don't think that Dorian is really the king's heir. In chapter 7, there's a quote that says, but Dorian, tall, toned, and elegant, bore no resemblance to him. And then there was the matter of Dorian's sapphire eyes. Not even his mother had his eyes. No one knew where they came from. All right. You're just gonna slip that in chapter 7. I don't know, like, bears no resemblance, like,
Yeah.
to either of them. That was weird. And, like, when they describe his brother, Holland, which we don't meet him in this book, but he's described, they, like, describe him as, like, this rough and tough guy. Like, he's super cruel, much like their parents. And, like, he's, like, very... Like, Dorian's very good-hearted, like Kale, which is why they're such good friends. So I feel like he was, like, born of and maybe raised by somebody else. I don't know. That's my
That's a hot take.
it's my thought at this time. But yeah, so I guess we can give our final ratings. Do you want to go first?
We're going in half steps.
Yes. So yeah, we're not gonna do like the in between, like the 0.2s and the point. Nah, we're gonna go whole numbers and 0.5s. It's too much for the others. So
I think 4.5. Because
yeah,
I don't give many things 5. I can't do it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4.5. And take this with a grain of salt that I rated Onyx Storm a 4. 4.5 is very high for me.
Yeah.
And this book was incredible. I loved it. I just want to keep reading more and more and more. And I'm so excited for this universe. But
yes,
I want to save room for the others. Because I know there will be another that's going to be a 5. And not because it's better written, not because the story's better, but just because I'm going to be more attached.
Oh, yeah.
And so much more invested. So I'm saving my 5. This is a 4.5.
Yeah.
But I love it.
4.5.
So much.
I cannot wait to keep going.
I can't either.
I can't wait.
No, I really can't wait.
Be awesome.
But yeah, this was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, but
so much going on. And I feel like we could do have more fun with it later on once we've been through the whole series. But yeah, there's a lot here. So yeah, thanks for sticking with us through an hour and a half of Throne of Glass Book 1. It was a lot of fun, and we really, really enjoyed this book. We're gonna have so much more fun with the rest of the series too. So next week we'll be recapping Crown of Midnight. And I'm very excited about that as well. Like I said, I'm 60% of the way through. Something very jarring happened this morning. While I was reading. And Mallory was not around. And I'm gonna hold that against her. For real.
I wasn't there. I'm sorry.
I was texting her like 10 plus times in a row. And then I was like, oh, she's at work. I thought it was a holiday today. Like, come on.
Not for me. For some reason.
You have more holidays than anyone I know. I don't understand how you could not be off on this day.
Nope.
Like, I don't understand.
I don't know why.
But
everyone,
yeah,
I mentioned at the top of the show that we were at 107, but should be at 108. We're at 108. It happened.
Oh,
One of-
Somebody pulled through.
Yeah, your buddy pulled through. We're at
Who
108.
was that?
Go
Oh, my
follow
buddy
us.
Alex.
Yeah.
Was it my buddy Alex?
Yes. Follow
Shout
us
out.
on Instagram, doublebooked_pod. Follow us on TikTok, because I worked very hard to get that account. And we'll keep posting.
Yeah, TikTok is double.booked.pod.
Follow us.
And
currently,
please.
Mallory, am the only follower, and that needs to change because I already know what's up there.
Yeah, please follow us. Follow the show. Please
Follow us
on
on Spotify.
or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Please follow us.
Give us a
please,
rating.
Yes, leave us a rating. I mean, we're not gonna ask for 5 stars. We know you guys are gonna give it anyway, so it's like not a big deal. We're not gonna ask for 5 stars, but
we just know what's going on here.
we just
have
know
an
what's
agreement.
up.
Yeah.
We know what's up. So yeah, please leave a rating. We are just as cocky as Selena, and we know it'll be nothing less than a 5. So please rate and review and follow and subscribe and do all the things so that you can catch us next time on the Double Booked Pod. Happy reading.
Happy reading.